Guys, welcome back to Jake's Chop Shop. Today the weather is horrible this weekend here in Adelaide, but come inside, I have made a new purchase. Let's look what we got. You filming still?
Yes. Am I not supposed to?
So, look at that. It's got a chrome bumper on it. Like I said, no more VLs, I'm done with them. So, I've just purchased the other night a HQ ute, so 1973 maybe. As you can see, it's seen better days, but we're going to do a one-day makeover on this. Let's see what we can do. Alright, Cobber, before we start this episode, it might be raining in winter here, but we're living like it's summer of 73, Australia. Nah, but this episode, before you begin, we got the bucket hats back in store, right? So many hats, we needed to buy a ute just to fit them, right? AS colour, the online store, the link will be in the description of the video. Quickly check it out before we get into the video. I love them. Doesn't matter if it's raining, doesn't matter if it's sunny, you can always put a bucket hat on. When these are sold out, they won't be back. We're going to do a different design every time. Also, we are working on hoodies and t-shirts, but just be patient with us, all right? I'm trying to give you some good quality. I don't want no cheap and nasties, all right? Some nice hats, and they're not going to be tacky. Let's get back into the video. Okay, so, we picked this one up, what was it, yesterday? Or the night before?
Thursday.
Thursday night, from Mo Bridge, this car here. Obviously, someone's loved it once in its life. It's got a Aussie 4-speed in it, and apparently it was a Celica 5-speed, but it definitely isn't a Celica 5-speed. It's got a 202 blue motor from a Commodore in it. It's got the Jelly Bean wheels, the 8s, so I think some of you fellas that watch it, that might be your cup of tea. We're going to try and make it work, or we'll try and do hubbies or something. But it's got some rust. It's chalky. It's got bucket seats. Floor shift. Definitely seen better days. But the floors are solid. Like if we look down here, the floors are solid. A bit of surface rust, but not bad. Door cards are alright. I sort of like it. We actually had a different plan, but we're going to get rid of this one. So the original plan was I was going to buy a car and put the 253 that was going to go on the HJ, Kingswood I'm building, in it and do like a V8 sort video. But we bought this one and it's probably a little bit too rough for what I want to do and what I want to put the engine in. So we're going to do a one-day makeover and see what we can accomplish with this car. I have high hopes, and plus it's a QE, so that's kind of cool. Have a look at the front. We've got some nice lights aftermarket there. Boom, check that out, powerhouse. Now, it does run. It does run. The guy said he got it off the trailer. In the meantime, we've hooked up a little jerry can and a fuel line right to the fuel pump. If you have one of these old cars, that's what you can do. It still needs a bit of degreaser in the carby to get it going, but what I'm thinking, the fuel filter is clogged because this tank, I'm not gonna lie, I already started on this car. I gypsies out of it a little bit, but we're not gonna make the same mistakes I did last time with the fuel tanks and shit in them. So last night I put it on the hoist, I pulled the fuel tank out, I pressure washed it out, got all the shit out of the tank because it had a few pinholes in the bottom of it. So we knew that, and I thought today, a part of the video, I'm gonna weld the tank, like weld the pinholes up, and but I soaked it with water and deoxidine to try and clean out as much of the rust and bullshit out of the tank as I could overnight. So we got something to work with today, otherwise it just wasn't plausible to do in one day. But I reckon the fuel filter is clogged because of that. But come around here, I'll try and start it up and show you what we're dealing with. Door handle doesn't work. But it's not bad. See what it does. Have a look at that. Have a look at that. It's a little bit how you going, but I think there's a Welsh plug leaking, and apart from that, it runs and drives. What a weapon, hey? First thing we're going to do is give it a pressure wash. I haven't cleaned it. This is how I got the car. We're going to wash it. I reckon we're going to polish it. Obviously lower it, get it running nice, and we're going to do some interior stuff and see how we end up. Let's get into it. So there she is. She's a bit hard to tell at the moment because the sun is glaring, but she's white, all right? It's white, it's a little bit cleaner. The jelly beans are starting to clean up. So I was initially going to take these wheels off, but I think we're going to really play into it on this build. So it's getting there. Look at that already. Just looking a bit more white. Let's put it into the shop. Let's do a little bit of orbital polishing, and let's see how it turns out. All right, so we've given it a quick little wash. I drew out these little, well, I don't even know what you call them, to be honest with you, but they're all gone. Next thing we're going to do is hit it with the wall pad. So I was going to do an orbital clay bar, but I couldn't be fucked. We're just going to skip straight to the wall pad. Anytime you have a car that looks like this, you'd be surprised how much you can bring up, right? I'm not going to lie. This thing I have high hopes for. All these rust marks, everything like that, they'll all go. Something's going to happen here. It's either going to like the buff or it's not. I'm not sure which one it's going to do. You can't really tell. But hitting something with a wall pad heavy, it does bring up shine. You're going to create a bit of a better look. Doesn't matter what you do. But it's already looking white, but it looks super chalky. So if you come have a look here, can you see it in the camera? What it sort of looks like? Especially if you look down and you see this chalky bit here, that's what sort of the whole car looks like. Anytime you have a car like that, you can bring it up, all right? So let's quickly chuck some compound on, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I've just got this 3D, what is it, 510, step 1 and the wall pads. I get this from Bill, so I'll put his details in below. All right, this is what I do. I'll give you a little rundown real quick, pick a point, put a bit on there. Let's see what it does. So if we always want to rub it in first. It's a bit dry, the paint, so it needs a bit more polish on it. Let's do the top. A bit more, and that's pretty much where it's going to be. I will say one thing, after doing this, don't go put the same pad onto a polished car with killer paint, because it will pick up all little bits and pieces and fuck your shit up. Let's see how it turned out. I can already see it's gonna look, you know, exactly sort of how we want it to look. It's gonna give it another second chance at life. It doesn't bring everything out, but when you go from a super chalky contrast to some sort of gloss, it makes a massive difference. So can you see? You stand back here a little bit as well, you can see the difference here. You can sort of see it. But obviously this part has this fucking bog that they've done here before, which sort of ruins it a bit. But when you have a piece that's all white, by the time I get all the way along, it's gonna look ripper. So I'll chuck it on time lapse now, and let's see how we go. All right, check that out. So one side's done, and you can see all the dents. Nah, but it's looking a way more shiny. Now, you might not be able to tell in here, I did the roof as well, but 10 times better already. Now, we still can't see the full picture of the car because we haven't finished the wheels, we haven't done the windows, etc., etc. All the little bits, it comes together at the end, it ties in. But you can see that reflection in the quarter panel. It's looking way more clean. We got rid of all those rust runs. Well, not runs, but where the water sort of stains the paint. That's all gone. And I can sort of see it coming together. So that's super hot rod look that I like. I just also had a crack at polishing up the jelly bean rim. And I think we're going to do that. All the wheels, polish them up. I want to make it a hot rod, man. I want to make it fucking cool. And I reckon we can do it. So I picked up some parts here today, went down to Outlaws, seen the boys. Check these bad boys out, the rocker cover, fasteners, some plates here. I got a Specco shifter, old school one, love it. Shifter boot, bits and pieces. Now, I went for a trip down to Pete's Classic Cars and I picked up this Specco shifter. These were secondhand, got them from him, and this GDS wheel here. So I'm gonna put a clip now from this morning. It was torrential rain. We were cruising around, me and Shay picking up bits and pieces for the ute. We stopped in at Pete's Classics. We'll skip to that now and have a look what he's got. He always helps me out. He's just down the road from me, and every time I need a little part, something, even if it's a second-hand bit just to get one of my cars on the road, he's always generally got it. So give him a buzz. We'll chuck the footage in now, have a look. All right, guys, so it's windy, but we're on running around today. First things first, we need to pick up some bits and pieces from the boys at Outlaws, and we've stopped here at Pete's Classic Car Sales. Now, I'll put a little annotation in the screen. I'll show you what we brought. Come have a look. So, Pete's helped me out. I want to do sort of, I don't know, aged mods and whatnot. I got this really cool shifter, Specco shifter, some side covers, a GDS wheel, whatnot. So Pete helped me out with that. He's got so many spare parts here. If you need any sort of clip, air cleaner, special part for early Holdens, early Fords, Valiants, bits and pieces, Pete's got a lot of stuff here. It might not be advertised, but if you honestly give him a call, if you need any sort of little bits and pieces, he's got it. He's got massive collections. But while we're here, we're just gonna have a quick look around, see what's for sale. I'll show you, have a look. Camaro sells. Calais, V8, He's got 26 on this one. This is a super nice car. This is XE, V8, clean paint. Looks pretty tidy. I reckon it just needs to be slammed and someone needs to cruise it. But there's a few bits and pieces. There's a VL Calais on the hoist over here. This is a genuine 5 litre car, Calais. I think Pete wants somewhere around 60 bones for this, but it needs something done to the engine, maybe like lifters or whatnot. But super original car, hasn't really done very many Ks, super neat. Valiant here. I love me a Valiant. And we'll have a look at the early Holdens, some chrome bumper stuff. What's this? GDS. Very nice. And he's got the Tirana. We like that. Again, I think this is a pretty red hot colour. So this is where all the parts are. I'll give you an idea. Look at all this. This is insane. There's so many little bits and pieces in here. Whether it's something for your dash, whether it's little bits and pieces, like I was saying. Look at all this stuff. Literally call him, message him. He's got so many little things. You know what? I don't always have the money to buy a car because I always buy cheap stuff, but constantly I'm at Pete's buying little bits and pieces, and this is why. Gives you an idea. And it's all some pretty cool stuff. Moldings, bits and pieces. Look at these radios. This is the sort of stuff that gives me so much inspiration. You know, you could do something with this. Imagine like put this in a car, whatnot. I love it. You know. Anyway, we'll have a quick look in the next parts room, and that's it. Seriously, guys, you got to check this out. This is insane. I don't know how long he's been collecting, but there's some serious stuff in here. Look at that. GT grills. Everything.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Good on you.
Okay, so this side's all polished up as well. Probably the worst side is this side of the car. It's looking a bit willy-nilly, but trust me, it's still going to come together. The next thing I want to do, before I polish the front and paint the grills and whatnot and do the tailgate, I need to get this thing a bit lower, and we need to polish the wheels up so we start to see what this is going to look like. So before we move the car into the hoist, we're going to have a look under the engine bay here. Now, I've been having a few little dramas, so I can get it started by spraying a bit of degreaser, but my fuel system here isn't working. And I have to say, I reckon it's to do with the fuel filter, because the tank had heaps of shit in it. And if you can get it revving up real good, then it starts to suck and the fuel's all good. It's all there. So we're going to quickly change this fuel filter, knock that off before we do anything else. We'll do that. We'll drive it on the hoist and we'll start getting the car locked. Okay, so while we're here, got the new filter on here, boom, nice shiny. We're trying to create that, I don't know if it's 80s, 90s, whatever, running on empty look. But we've got these side cover plates here on these 202s. So we're gonna rip the dizzy cap off, rip the coil bracket off, and I've got a pair that I picked up from Pete at Pete's Classics. These bad boys, so we're gonna slap those on real quick. And we may as well put our new fasteners on the rocker cover and our little oil cap. So let's do that while we're here. Now, I've just pulled off these side covers. Now, I actually had no idea that they had a gasket on them, right? That might be a complete just retard moment or whatever. But I've salvaged the gaskets off the old ones, smashed it with RTV. Fingers crossed that this works. I think this is the fucked up one. So we're gonna try and put him in the easier place to get to, I reckon. We got a dizzy in the way, we got fucking all sorts. Or we might try and put him at the back. Might be a bit easier. So I just don't want that gasket to fall out because it's in a few pieces and I've got it sitting in there. I'm trying to just keep pressure on it so the gasket doesn't move. The only thing I'm worried about is this little tab here. Oh. These are offset. These are slightly offset. All right, give me a second, I'll be back. I just flipped the plates over, upside down. And now they're all the right orientation, so I didn't realise that they only went one way. This is the first, not the first time I've worked on a 202, but one of the first times. I've never done these side covers before. Usually these engines, I'll be like, we'll do an engine swap or do something with it, but from what I've gathered over the years of just hearing stories and, war tales and whatever, back in the day, it was kind of cool to have somewhat of a hot 202 or something in your car. So I want to give that a crack. You know what I mean? I'm all about doing things on a budget, and I think this is something a lot of people can do. And even though some of the old stylings and whatever technically is a bit dated and not everybody's cup of tea, it is still something cool, and it's a part of where everything came from, so you gotta pay homage to that in a way. So I think that's what this ute's gonna be. It's all the old timers that were running the hot 202s back in the day. So it might be cool. It might be cool. I think this thing, when it runs right, drives right, it might actually go alright too. So we'll put that to the test, eh? Packet of these, we probably needed to get 2 packets actually in hindsight, but these are these Specco rocker cover long nut things. What are they called? Wing nuts T-bar style. So I think I've seen a lot of these old done up cars like day one mods. Heaps of them have these, and they're actually not a bad idea. But we'll chuck some of these in, and we'll get some more over the next couple of days, or when Outlaws open again, because obviously a long weekend. And we'll finish this off, and we'll put a few more clips when it's all done. To choose four of these. I reckon we'll just do the first 4. Because we still got to put an air cleaner on this as well, so a few little bits and pieces to do. Shocking. But look at that. Now, if that doesn't give you some extra horsepowers, I don't know what does. Oh, fucking earth. They're not even straight. Hey, babe.
I really don't know what they're for.
Instead of a bolt, so you don't have to have a ratchet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just do it by hand, like boom. That's the bolt.
Is it for the look as well?
Yeah, I think it's for the look. I think it's more of a cream of mod, but before we're finished under here, we might see if we can fit the air cleaner. Or no, we'll leave that till after. Let's slam the car first. The final look before we lower it. I just had to play with the timing just then. Got it right, and I feel like it's cleared up. Obviously we had a bit of shit go through the filter and probably go into the carby, I've revved it up a few times and then just probably should do that up. Revved it up and blocked off the carby so it sucks everything through a few times, and straight away now we've got the car idling. We've got a bit of smoke come out of it, but I reckon that's just itself cleaning itself up. I haven't put a timing light on it yet. I'll set that soon, but let's get it up on the air. Let's get these wheels off, detailed, cleaned. We'll see how we're going. She's revving a bit high at the moment. Obviously, the whole setup is a bit of a mess. It's all over the place, but we'll get that right. We'll start dialing it in. Okay, wheels off. We'll get to polishing those in a second, but first we must lower this car. So we'll quickly have a look underneath what we're dealing with. So we've got a Bango right here, potentially LSD, doubt it, but maybe. We've got U-bolts here, so with the Leaf we obviously have to put a block in it, longer U-bolts. So what I got made up, I sent Jed down to a place called Safety Steer on Friday. So they actually bend these up to whatever dimensions that you want. I got 8 of them. So for 2 cars, I don't know what the second car is, but it's always good to have more than less. So it cost me about 200 bucks. So not bad price, and they're a nice quality. Whatever length you want, whatever radius you want, all done. With the nuts and washers supplied. So that's all there. So we'll grab a few of these, and we just have to make up some lowering blocks as well. Yeah, if anything, a little bit big, but I'd rather have it a little bit larger than too small. So we're gonna undo these bottom plates. We also have to drill them out because I've opted for, the factory is like a 10mm U-bolt. These are 12mm. So I've opted for a little bit larger material. So we'll drill the bottom plate out, give us a bit more strength, lift the diff up with the transmission jack, make some blocks up, boom, we're on. Let's get into it. So we're just marking out 110, boom, because this will be our block, you know what I mean? We'll cap the ends. All right, so 1 block, about 110, second block. And we'll just cut this up, cap our ends, drill a hole in the bottom for a locator, we'll be on. Bolt it up, and that should be our, what's that? What's 25mm per inch? So what, 25, 50. So it's almost a 3-inch block, a 2.5-inch block, pretty much. Let's get these happening. then it looks like our hole is in the center of it. All right, so that's 55. What do we land? 110, 55, boom. I'll mark my holes now, and then I'll drill them out, and we'll test fit them up, and we'll cap the ends for extra strength, and then we'll chuck them in the car. Alright, so I got me fucking lowering blocks all made up now. Red hot. So they're capped either side. Strong 3mm steel, RHS, boom. Locator drilled. Would you look at that? Just okay, so moment of truth. I've got the lowering blocks in the rear. Let's see how low it is. Hopefully this works, hey? Okay. That's much better. It's a lot lower. It's not my usual tuck and tire low. But like I said, we're going to pay homage to like an old school muscle car. So I think that's about right. I think that looks absolutely fat. How cool is that tire riding? I'm actually really digging that. Super cool. I reckon the front needs to come down a little bit now as well. That's radical. I'm so happy with that. In the front now, I've got the gloves on. Every time you do this, a disc explodes, so make sure you've got good eye care, hand care, and you'll be right. Like, don't be afraid, just get in there and do it, you know? There's not really too many other ways to say it, but you're sort of fucked. I'll be honest. There isn't really a good way to do this, nor really a safe way. But do you want to maybe stand behind me in case you cop a disc? That's how you do it, right? Breaks the disc, but you get a job done. So front springs are cut. Let's see, moment of truth, how it's going to sit. Now hopefully the front's sitting not bad now to match the rear. So I took probably a coil and a half. Oh, you know what? I haven't bolted up the shockers either, that's all I've got a bit of bouncing. But, you know what? I can live with that. I feel like that's a respectable height. It's not too slam where it's going to be shit to drive. Let's have a look around the side. Yeah, I reckon it's about right. That's about right. Down a bit. Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
I reckon we need to put some drag guides on this one. Anyway, let's get on to the next thing. So we'll quickly give the wheels a little clean up. I'm not going to polish them tonight. I'm just going to steel wool them. So it's going to take all that scaly stuff up and really clean it. It's going to give it sort of like a matte sheen. So we'll quickly lift it up. I'll steel wheel the rims and then we'll get onto the interior, hey? Let's go. I've got a bit of gun wash and some 4X steel wool. So come in here. Now I cleaned these wheels with some that pink spray you seen at the start, and that was like an acid alloy cleaner. But now we're just going to go along. And we're just going to steel wool them, and that's going to clean up the alloy, and sort of, it's almost like a very coarse polishing method. Some full alloy guys or polishing guys will know about this, but I'm not sure if I want to do them full polished or not, because it might look too shiny for the rest of the car. If I go around, put a bit of elbow grease in, it's going to be quicker than polishing them, but we're still going to get an improved result. So you can see how the steel wool's turning a bit black, or the gum wash is turning a bit black. That's the metal right there that we're cleaning up. We're just trying to make the car look like it hasn't just been sitting, really, you know what I mean? But you can go as far as you want with this. Looks like Shay's been driving here.
Go fuck yourself.
Let's wipe up. These tyres are shagged. But I reckon these wheels, in this car's terminology, are shit hot. You know, the operator that used to have this, that was his favourite line, I reckon. That's bloody shit hot, mate. What do you reckon?
Oh my god.
There we go. I reckon that looks neat. So we can see how that looks. That's got that sheen, but it's clean compared to this. You know what I mean? We got that sheen, so that's going to do us all right for this car, I reckon. I'll go around and do the rest now. So I'm looking at the car now, we've got it off the hoist, time to do the interior, the final titsy up for the day. But I'm looking at the car. One more thing I want to touch before we go onto the car, on the interior is obviously windows. That's one. Two, I just sprayed the grill and the inserts over there because they were a bit fucking shit looking. It was bothering me. Three, this bonnet. I don't know if the car's been painted a different white, that's the original bonnet, or they put a different bonnet on the car. I'm not sure what the situation is. I tried to buff a tiny bit of it. Obviously, it's not going to come up. It's proper fucked. So what I'm thinking, keep it era correct, something quick, neat, kind of cool. I'm going to do it matte black. I'm going to quickly paper around the bonnet, dust it matte black, and leave it like that. I think it's going to give it a look. It is what it is, work in project, but it's definitely going to clean it up. I'm definitely going for that era correct look, if you want to call it that. Some sort of retro styling. Some of you would have seen back in the day. I'm going to give it a crack. It might work, it might not. If it doesn't work, I'll just paint the bonnet to match the car. Well. Okay, check it out. So we've got the black bonnet. It's rough as guts. I love it. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's the best thing I've got at the moment. Something quick, easy. Obviously, that's not prep right, whatnot. I'm not phased, you know what I mean? You look at it, it's not like we're trying to hide anything. The more it matches the car, the better it is. It's still just drying in a few spots. The next thing we're going to tackle is the interior. So we're lucky with the bucket seats. They're in pretty good nick. The door cards are in pretty good nick. The dash pad is fucked. So that's one that might have to be touched at a later date. But we've got the steering wheel, the shifter, the no carpet. It stands out like a sore thumb and it makes the car look like a project. Well, obviously it's going to look like a project, but way more like one. So first point of call, let's rip off that steering wheel. Let's rip these seats out, all the bits and pieces. And even that shifter, I'm going to have to fix that. So I've got another one. I've got some carpet from Brad. Let's go. So I'm going to strip the interior out, chuck the new stuff in, clean it as we go, and we'll see where we land. Then finally, the windows, and we're on. We'll have a look where we land. Looking at the floors, that was easy. The seats weren't bolted in. The steering was a massive pain in the ass. Got that. But this car's actually had floor pans put in it before. I don't know if you can see there. Someone's attempted a floor pan there. Same as on the other side. So this has been someone's pride and joy once in its life. So we're going to give the floors a quick little wire wheel, clean them up. Some black etch primer over the floor to clean that, seal that up, help protect it for now. But we're cooking with fire here. 1 day effort, pretty good so far. All right, let's clean that up, start putting some carpet in. Here was one of the things that was bothering me the most about the ute was the steering wheel. So we've obviously got a genuine GDS wheel here. We'll slap this on while we're waiting for the edge to dry. I'm not going to paint it or detail it up because I really don't see the point. I think that it matches the rest of the car. We're not going for a restored look. We're going for a cool, come out of the shed, you know what I mean? This was the era it was from. That's the look I want. And that there, tenfold already. The next thing we're going to do is put a shifter on it. It's got a 5-speed shifter on it. That's been adapted to the Aussie 4-speed. It's been welded to the bottom. So from Pete's today, I got this Speco shifter with the wood, aged, The thread's hammered, so I'm going to cut the thread off and weld it like they've done. I've got this boot here from Outlaws, slap it in once we put the carpet in, and away we go. How wild's that? Ready to rock and roll. I love that setup. I just don't want to light myself on fire at the moment with the fumes and whatnot, so that's why we're sticking the steering wheel in. I'll be waiting for this. We've got to put the carpet in there. Maybe we'll be alright. I reckon we're lucky.
Tell me.
What?
I don't know.
It's a fucking nice carpet, isn't it?
Mm.
Look at that. I'm right with that. And that's a 4-speed for you, eh? How cool is that? I'm so wrapped with this, eh? Okay, it's been a big day. Big night, big day. Shay's ready to go home. I'm pooped. Still got to put a video out tomorrow. But we finished the car for now. It's not completely done, but for one day, I think we've done fucking crazy amount of work. So, as you can see, it's sitting killer. The side's polished. The bonnet's blacked. It's sort of coming together now. But let's have a look at the trim. The door handle doesn't work. But if we look at that now, we've got a GDS steering wheel, GDS seats, we've got the 4-speed shifter, we've got the carpet in there. It's looking red hot. I love it. It just brings it all back, ties it all together. Nothing's new. I think that was the key. If it did one thing new in the interior, like if I did a brand new carpet or a brand new steering wheel, everything would have to be new. That's why we just sort of have to keep it like that. And I think it looks wild. The car's running and driving now. We still got to put the fuel tank back in, but my mock-up fuel tank is working. There you go. Little bit of TLC, change the fuel filter, whatnot. These things are so easy to get your head around. That good stuff. Play with the timing a little bit, and there you go. The wheels, the jelly beans, at the start I was like, no way they'd look cool, but I love the look at the moment. We've got the grille in, headlight surrounds, cast iron. It just gives it that contrast, neatens it up a little bit. Still at a later date, we're going to pull the bar out because it's actually a little bit bent in. So yeah, glass is obviously clean. Clean glass makes a massive difference. And again, just the little things like taking off the, I don't know what you call them, the tonneau cover hooks, whatever. I think it looks better. I'll probably end up putting pot ribbons in there as something to seal the holes up. Obviously we made ourselves some 3-inch lowering blocks. And again, look at the finish on the wheel. I actually like the tie riding. I think it suits it. And now, I think when you look at the ute as a whole, it looks like something that's just, yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges, but it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if you're into it or not. It's kind of cool. But I feel like this angle over this side's the best. Come on. I haven't touched the tailgate yet. I like that. I've cleaned up the surrounds, gave them a little bit of a steel wall. Same as the rear bumperettes, but have a look at that. Something about it, I love it. And the height, I think it's just right. I'd normally go a little bit lower, but I think this is just, it's drivable, it's cool, it's everything you need. There you go, one day you can do it. If I did it, that means I have a video out tomorrow morning and you could buy a car tomorrow afternoon and do it on Monday. Anyway, hopefully that gave you some ideas, bits and pieces. We'll probably do maybe a round 2 on this car before we get rid of it, or maybe do a V8 swap, we don't know. But I think this would be really cool with a V8, 4-speed in it. I'm wrapped. Again, thanks to everybody that helped. The boys at Outlaws, Pete, Shay. Don't give me that face, you helped. I'm stoked. I think this does deserve maybe a second episode. We might do one during the week, quick little one of finishing off little bits and pieces, but fuck, how cool is that? HQs have it, don't they? They have that look. But like I said, jump on the online store. Everything will be live. I'll be in touch soon. Thank you for watching.